It's start time with the Star Roddy Rod.
It's your girl Maiden Putty, and you're now listening to Star Time.
It's Star Time, and I'm the host of Star Roddy Rod, and today's my birthday! Yeah! Today I turned 35. So, it's going to be a little solo episode. I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about turning another year older. So, basically, this is going to be a candid, honest episode. Strictly being by myself, personal. So, all I gotta say is, I'm 35, but I'm not where I want to be in life, As in regards of finances, job, love life. I'm going to dive into that a little bit more into that today. So, it's been hard. You reach a certain age and you realize, you're supposed to accomplish more. You think you're supposed to accomplish more, but it just haven't happened. And, you could be hard on yourself, but sometimes it's, things don't go your way. Obstacles that's out of your control being in your way. So, like, lately, my sleep patterns has been all over the place. Like, I'll fall asleep early and then be up all night, or I'll fall asleep late and then only get like 3 to 4 hours of sleep. Right now I'm actually looking for work, so that's a little stress as well. Looking for new work, stressful, trying to make sure I pay everything I need to pay. Luckily, I saved up some money, so I ain't gotta really think about what I gotta do. But still a little stress. Me being single and meeting girls who basically aren't like feeling me the way I'm feeling them. They basically telling me that they don't like me, they're not interested, I'm not their type. Basically whores, girls that just want to have sex or is open to having sex, and sometimes like getting immersed into these girls, their energy is not high, they give off negative vibes, or they give off a vibe, that you don't want to be around. So I've been going through a lot of that lately. Me honestly, I'll never try to wife up a hoe because you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. It can't happen. So a lot of times, like, since I'm this age, I get a little embarrassed, because, a lot of people who, like, I went to school with, I grow up with, they're familyed up, basically. They have somebody, they met the special somebody, and they've been with that person for a long time. Got multiple kids, So it'd be a little hard to try to attend their events at times. I don't be wanting to go alone, or it feels weird if I'm going to a kid's birthday and I don't have a kid with me at times, because I will be there sticking out like a sore thumb. Everybody will be there with their kids playing, but I'll just be standing there with a drink in my hand like, what up? So, yeah, it's been pretty hard with the whole single life, Some days living this life, it can be a little challenging, There's days that I'm like okay, and there's days that I'm not okay, Dealing with the stresses of life, daily life, New York City. I live on my own, so I gotta always be doing something, as in housework, taking care of myself, running outside, keep myself occupied, because you don't want to you don't want to be idle and just sitting there. So I always got to keep myself occupied, try to make time for myself and everybody else around me. So it's certain things I kind of expected to accomplish by the time I turned 35. And I've been thinking about this even while I was in college. Because, while I was in college, I wasn't really trying to get to a certain point. I was just thinking about focusing on school, focusing on the books, getting out of there, finding myself a job. So the females, I was just using every type of method to meet girls, like in person, Facebook dating, Hinge, even DMing girls on Instagram. And now I'm realizing that, you can't force a connection. If the person don't like you, they'll show it. They probably won't even answer back the DMs. So I've been going through a lot of that lately. But I never give up. Always, you always hear the saying, there's more fish in the sea. And that's true. Like, that's why a lot of times when I see a baddie and she ignored me or dubbed me, I'm like, whatever. Because, there's more fish in the sea. Like, and a lot of these girls who are like, quote unquote baddies, they like the attention. They know that they have a lot of people on their social media apps thirsting for them. They know they walk outside in a cute outfit, everybody's eyes is turned on them. So, I see it. I see a cute girl I like, but it don't happen. I just gotta move on. Gotta move on, basically. But it seems like a lot of people that I've been meeting for the past year has been standing on business. Like, they really have been only basically trying to hit me up in the sense of me trying to support what they're doing. Whatever they're doing, whether to see them at a bar, at a club, support their business that they're doing, like selling items, selling drinks. And, I just thought about it like, basically, y'all only see me when y'all need to make a sale. Our interaction will never be anything more than transactional. There's no intimacy there. There's no love there. So sometimes I realize that over time, like, people put themselves in spaces, different spaces in your life. You have certain people that are only met for certain tasks, and they will only write you or interact with you when it benefits them. There's certain people that, I will go hang out with them, but I wouldn't bring them around other people for various reasons. There's other people that I would do business with, but outside of doing business, they won't hang out with me. They won't check up on me. And there's people who, you have workmates that you only talk to at work, or there's people that you only talk to when you go a certain place. And if y'all not a certain place, they forget about you. It's more of the, you don't see the person, you don't think about them. That's what it feels like when it comes to these type of people. So this is what I mean by people put themselves in certain categories in your life. And there's certain people that specifically you can count on to do certain things if they're reliable. So that's what I've been thinking about a lot. I ain't gonna lie though, I'm grateful for the things that I do have. I'll talk about, not having a love life and not having currently working, being unemployed. But, I'm grateful that I'm still able to have my own apartment. I'm grateful that I'm still able to have good health. And I'm grateful that I'm still able to have family. I'm grateful that I'm still able to have the lights on. I'm still able to stream my TV shows. I'm still able to have the cell phone that I can freaking do what I want and not have to worry about it getting cut off. No, these are things that I'm grateful for. I'm also grateful that I also have some type of funds on me and I'm not entirely broke. So yeah, you know, I've had to learn over the past maybe 4 to 5 years to adapt to change. And over the past few years, it wasn't easy to do, but over time, you know, I got better at it. So like there's certain people that don't associate with me that used to associate with me. I've learned to adapt to that. I've also learned to adapt that, you know, some people are just people that you would chit chat with, but wouldn't link up with, wouldn't see in person. I've come to adapt to a lot of these things over the past few years, and for this new year, for the year 35, for the year 2024, I'm manifesting great things in my life. I'm manifesting, you know, God will open up all the doors that I need to be opened, with new opportunities will come knocking, and I'll be there. I'll be ready to accept with open arms all these new opportunities. And I'll be ready to face the challenges that lies ahead of me in this new year. I'm very confident that, you know, next year is going to be better than this year in every way. You know, there's a saying that said you can manifest, but you also have to do the right work. So, yeah, you can manifest certain things, but if you're not doing anything towards it, you're not doing the right work, then, you know, it's like a wish. It's like you're wishing on a star and hoping that it comes true. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of luck out there. Like, people get lucky out of random. Some things happen out of random. And that happens as well. So, that's basically how I feel about turning 35. So, happy 35th birthday to me. And this is the Star Roddy Rod. And you are listening to Star Time. Peace out. This is the Star Roddy Rod, and I'm the host of Star Time. So I want to tell y'all about this awesome show that I'm on called the Premier Boys Podcast, where it's just me and 3 other brothers, Ken Mr. Gentleman, Ken Talk Aaron Sands, and Long Live the Chief Mally Mal, discussing topics of the culture and our opinions, latest news topics, latest stories, scandals, and we have a lot of fun doing this, you know? We talk our own opinions. Sometimes it's real raw, real raunchy, and sometimes it's just fun and games. So, you know, listen to it with an ear, you know, of enjoyment. We're here to entertain you, you know? We talk about topics of the news. We talk about reviews of shows. We just talk about anything from music to current events and everything in between. So you can catch us on Wednesdays on all streaming platforms with the exception of Spotify. So after you listen to this, go right ahead and listen and subscribe to the Premier Boys podcast. Recommended by me, the Star Roddy Rod of Star Time. All right. It's Star Time, and I'm the host, the Star Roddy Rod. And I want to say thank you for listening to this week's episode of Star Time, where I talked about me turning 35. No? It was really good. I'm very hopeful that the next year of my life will be a good one. So right now, I'm just grateful for life. I celebrated all weekend, partying, karaoke with friends. I had a ball, you know? So yeah, just want to let y'all know a few things. We got 2 special guests coming up on the next episodes of Star Time. We got my boy B Bills, and we got Miss Dora Hip, and they're both going to be talking about their brands. You know? Also, Star Time is now on YouTube, and you can check it out by typing in Star Time Podcast on the YouTube search. Make sure you subscribe. Episodes are being uploaded, so the page is coming up. Especially new episodes will be dropping on there as well. So all episodes will take time to come up. So, yes. Thank you for listening. So I'm just so excited to be turning another year older. And I have so much goals I want to accomplish this year. I have so much things I'm looking forward to doing. You know, looking to be in a more positive mindset, because if once you start being in a positive mindset, positive things will happen. You know, can't always be in a slump. So we are a few episodes away from the mid-season finale of season 2 of Star Time. So yeah, we're gonna be on mid-season break. Then we'll come back, and more to that to be announced in coming episodes. So check me out also on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Presents, the old school show, part of spin-off series Thursdays, every 4th Thursday. And the Premier Boys is coming back in January 24th, 2024. So I'm very excited to be back chopping it up with my brothers. You know, we took a long hiatus, but we'll be back. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe to Star Time. Also follow me on IG at star.timeroddy to find out more updates about everything. And I just want to give a special shout out to everybody who's showing me birthday love on Facebook, Instagram, text, WhatsApp. Feeling the love today. You know? So check me out on all streaming media, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Good Pods. Make sure you listen and subscribe. Tell a friend. And I'll see y'all next week on Star Time. Peace.
This is Dan. You are now listening to Star Time.